Thanks for joining St. George News at 8. I'm Scott Beadle. The progress of a 2012 attempted murder case comes to a halt as authorities say the suspect may never be restored to the level of competency needed to proceed to trial. 36-year-old Craig Manuel Bennett was handed over to state custody Monday. He'll be sent to the Utah State Hospital in Provo for care with a review in 6 months. Bennett was involved in a November 2012 shooting at an RV park in Harrisburg, where he allegedly shot and severely injured an RV park resident using a shotgun. A recent evaluation described him as having a diagnosed mental illness, highly delusional, and unlikely ever to be restored to mental competence. The criminal case is at a standstill, though those charges will remain on the books. A Washington man is sentenced to 7 months in jail on charges of voyeurism and sexual exploitation of a child. 24-year-old Nathaniel Isaiah Tamplin was arrested earlier this year based on information supplied to authorities by Google reps who reported he uploaded an image of child porn to his Gmail account. Authorities executed a search warrant in February, and Tamplin admitted to it. Tamplin also told police he used his phone to secretly record video of 2 females getting out of the shower, quote, at least a dozen times. One was over the age of 18 and one was under 18. Tamplin's attorney says he has been involved in therapy since he posted bail back in February. A major expansion is underway at a St. George company that was founded in a garage back in 1974. Now builds aerospace parts for companies like Boeing and SpaceX.
Ram Company, after 42 years of business here in St. George, is doing another expansion, and as I recall, this one's around about $10 million. It's adding significant square footage. I believe it's around 75,000 square feet, which is, I believe, more than doubling what they currently have. Some of that, I believe, is calculated into that is a parking garage.
We started in 1974. And we started in a garage, and our first employee was my father.
So what it really translates to is more jobs, and these are well-paying jobs, more technical in nature, really kind of a high-tech, solenoids and motors, small things that tie to all kinds of exciting and in-demand products around the world. So this is truly a value-added company, 251 employees with more to come because of this expansion.
Ram Company's new building will be built by Watts Construction in an area adjacent to the company's current facility and will consist of manufacturing space and a parking garage. A hiker was rescued Tuesday after falling some 100 feet in Zion National Park during that morning. A friend of the hiker who witnessed the incident contacted the park's dispatch center. The hiker slipped while descending Lady Mountain near the summit, fell approximately 100 feet into a narrow rock ravine. The hiker was lowered an additional 135 feet to a spot accessible to a responding helicopter. The patient was flown out by a rescue helicopter, which rendezvoused with a life flight helicopter, which in turn took the hiker to Dixie Regional Medical Center in St. George. Information on the hiker's condition was not released. In Washington, top intelligence officials are on Capitol Hill today, questioned by lawmakers. That hearing was dominated by the investigation into Russian interference in the election. It comes just one day before fired FBI Director James Comey's expected blockbuster testimony. Stephanie Ramos reports from Washington.
The day before fired FBI Director James Comey testifies before the Senate Intelligence Committee, his opening remarks are released. In the explosive statement, Comey talks about his conversations with President Trump, about former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and his communications with Russia. According to Comey, the president tells him, "I hope you can see your way to letting this go, to letting Flynn go." Comey recounts the January 27th dinner he had with the president, who he says told him, "I need loyalty. I expect loyalty." The FBI director says he tried to explain the importance of the Department of Justice independence from the White House.
And given the recent news about ongoing investigations.
On Capitol Hill today, the same committee had tough questions for the nation's top intelligence officials, all of them refusing to say whether or not President Trump had asked them to intervene in Comey's Russia investigation.
I have never been directed to do anything I believe to be illegal, immoral, unethical, or inappropriate.
Their responses frustrating both Republican and Democratic senators.
Let me ask you specifically, did the president, the reports that are out there, ask you in any way shape, or form to back off or downplay the Russia
I'm
investigation.
not going to discuss the specifics of conversations with the President of the United States, but I stand by the comment I just made to you, sir.
The Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coats, echoed the same.
I don't believe it's appropriate for me to address that in a public session.
Chief Meteorologist Chris Summers is up with your Southern Utah forecast right after this.
The weather tonight is brought to you by AWI Networks, smarter internet.
And welcome back, everyone. A good Wednesday evening to you. Another hot and dry day out there today as our temperatures made it once again back into the triple digits late this afternoon. May notice a little breeze out there. Those winds started to pick up a little bit late this afternoon, and for that reason, the National Weather Service has put our area underneath a red flag warning for not only tomorrow, but really through the rest of the work week and into the weekend, as you could see these gusty winds along with these dry conditions. And that means that the fire danger is very high across parts of southern Utah. So make sure you are taking extra precautions outdoors and if you're outdoors anyway, as temperatures the next couple of days are going to stay in the upper 90s to near 100 in much of our area. Now, those winds have been gusty. Again, been seeing wind gusts as high as 20 to 25 miles per hour. And as of last hour, we've been seeing temperatures wind gusts up in the 18 to 20 mile per hour range as well, from St. George at 18, west-southwest winds, Hurricane at 16, even Cedar City seeing those wind gusts up to 21 miles per hour as of last hour. Now, taking a look at our high temperatures out there today. Yeah, it was a hot one once again, as our high temperatures made it back to the triple digits, from St. George at 100 to Mesquite and Las Vegas at 102. Even Cedar City at 89 degrees here late this afternoon. Hurricane at 99 degrees as well. So this very hot, dry weather will continue over the next several days. And even overnight tonight, not a lot of relief from the heat. We do get back into the mid 50s or so around Cedar City. Otherwise, St. George, Mesquite, Hurricane, upper 60s to low 70s with mainly clear skies. In Cedar City, then for your Thursday, you're going to see temperatures make it back close to the mid to upper 80s. We'll go for a high of 87 degrees as we head into the afternoon hours of our Thursday. But again, those winds will be a little gusty. We'll see south-southwest winds as high as 10 to 15, but could be as high as 20 miles per hour in the afternoon. Now, for St. George on Thursday, lots of sunshine once again. We'll go for 99. I wouldn't be surprised to see 100 degrees as our temperature does make it to that area here late this afternoon for your Thursday anyway. But again, those west winds will continue pretty gusty across our area. Not much change in our weather the next couple of days. We're going to stay hot and sunny, not only for tomorrow but into Friday. Even in the weekend, may cool back a few degrees. At least get back in the low 90s or so, and then by next week may see a little bit of a cool down too, as we see temperatures by early next week basically getting back into the upper 80s to low 90s. But anyway, look at the high pressure is going to be very hot across our area. We do see a cold front well off to our north and west through parts of Nevada. It's going to be a dry cold front, but actually as that comes through here over the weekend, again, that may cool temperatures back just a little bit by the time we get to Saturday or Sunday. But another hot day on your Thursday, upper 80s from Cedar City to Newcastle, even Enterprise at 89. Again, gusty winds as high as 25 miles per hour. From St. George, southern Utah, down into parts of Nevada, seeing temperatures once again close to triple digits. Winds will be gusty up to 20 miles per hour. Cedar City, 7-day forecast, 82 degrees over the weekend. So a little bit cooler. Look at next week, though, low 70s. On Monday, some rain chances returning by Tuesday of next week. And in St. George and Cedar City, yeah, we'll stay in the 90s next couple of days. Even the weekend, though, back to low 90s before the 80s return early next week. Could see temperatures near 84 by Monday, then back into the upper 80s to near 90 on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But anyway, look at, yeah, very hot, dry, and now windy conditions too. Is really not the best thing to be seen out there with dry conditions and the wind picking up. And so the temperatures are going to be very hot here the next several days.
Oof. Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
We'll leave you with an endearing story after this. Police in Cincinnati found a fawn on a busy roadway and brought her in for safekeeping. Officers Roger No and Trish Yates received a call about a little deer running through the traffic, and they responded. This body camera video released by police shows Officer No putting on gloves before getting out of the car and picking up the little fawn. The adorable animal might have been a little nervous. If you listen carefully, you can hear it bleeding as Officer No picks it up and puts it in the back of the cruiser. They took it to a nearby wooded area in hopes of reuniting it with its mom.
Nice.
Thanks for watching.
We hope you have a great night.